Hey y'all, and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Rhonda Morrison, and today on Shape Up Sugarland's Healthy Eating, we are going to make a steak salad. We love our beef in Texas, but we're moving out of that stew season, and now here's another twist on what you can do with your steak. I'm using a London broil. It's a 2-pounder. It came out really thick, so I sliced it in half since we're using it on a salad. And I just put in some skim milk in here to break it down and just to make it more tender. Whenever you marinate your steak, just fold over your Ziploc bag like that. And whenever you seal it, it takes out the extra air and it helps your steak marinate better and help break down that tough meat. If you don't want to do that, you can absolutely use sirloin. Sirloin comes out tender enough, and you can use the same exact seasonings as what I'm using on this London broil. So you just take that on out of your milk, and I like to give mine just a pat. Not too much to get off all the moisture, but just enough to make sure that, you know, I'm not having a milky steak. This is a trick that I learned from Clovis Touche, an old family friend, a fabulous old Cajun man who lives out in Jennings, Louisiana. He actually was a chef for Ike Eisenhower back in the day when he finished his military service in France, where he went to culinary school. So I'm going to do 2 teaspoons of salt to start my rub. I'm using kosher salt. Boy, that's a mouthful, huh? And then I'm going to do a teaspoon of paprika, a teaspoon of onion powder, just like that, a teaspoon of black pepper. And we're keeping this nice and lean. This is going to be perfect for springtime. Let me kick this down to a ½ teaspoon for my thyme, just like that. Then we've got our garlic. We want some garlic powder, ½ teaspoon of that, and ½ teaspoon of crushed red pepper. So we've got some heat, we've got some savory, and we've got our, salt. It's going to be scrumptious. I'm just going to stir that up with my fork just to combine it to make a decent rub, so it's the same consistent flavor throughout. And I'm going to sprinkle this all over my steaks and rub it in on both sides. And then I'm going to grill it off to the desired doneness that I like. And I like mine kind of rare. I like it just a hot sear on the outside. So I'm going to kick up my little grill pan, or you can do it on the grill if you like. But I'm going to kick up my grill pan to a high heat, spray it down with some cooking spray, and cook it about 3 minutes per side. It's going to be awesome. So I just got my steak off my grill pan, and isn't it beautiful? You wouldn't even know that it was a London broil. You would think that it was some fabulous, expensive cut of meat, the way it just permeates the air with this delicate savoriness and that hearty beef flavor. I just love it. So with this, I need a dressing that's going to go with my salad and really complement my beef. So we're going to go with some balsamic. Y'all know I'm a big fan of balsamic, and I'm going to start off with ½ cup of olive oil, and then I'm going to add a ¼ cup of balsamic, just like that, and then a ¼ cup of red wine vinegar, and that is going to be delish altogether. Then I want to add some garlic, because steak and garlic go together like peas and carrots, you know what I'm saying? So in goes 1 and then 2. I like more garlic than less garlic. I want to get that spicy kick. So in that goes. Let me get all this off with my whisk. You can mince it, you can buy chopped garlic, but I just like it fresh pressed. That's how I prefer it. I'm going to give it a splash of black pepper just to add some more of that kick. And then finally, we're going to add 1 teaspoon of ground mustard, because mustard and beef go together very well too, you know. So in that goes. I'm going to whisk that together while my steak is resting. You know, I put that together in the Ziploc bag and had it marinating for about 8 hours. You can do it overnight. You can do it up to 24 hours. The longer you do it, the more tender it is. I've used that method with the milk, with eye of round, with other tough meats that makes it come out just delicious and perfectly tender. I've got 10 ounces of cherry tomatoes that I sliced in half that's going in with 5 ounces of mixed greens. I've got a small red bell pepper here that I thinly sliced. If you have a large one, just do half. You don't need the whole bell pepper. And then to that I have about 1/4 of a red onion that I thinly sliced. And that goes in just like that. And then we're going to throw in our marinade. Yeah, you could use that as a marinade. We're using it as a dressing today, but definitely a fabulous complement to steak. And so you just give this a toss and let all those flavors come together. And you don't want this to sit too long, because if you let it sit for a long time, your lettuce is going to start to wilt, and that ain't pretty on a plate. So now what I need to do, I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to get my steak on. Now this steak, even though we marinated it and had it resting, it's still going to be a little more tough than, say, a fatty piece of meat like a ribeye. So we want to make sure that we cut it thinly sliced, because that's better for a salad anyway. So I'm going to take my fork and I'm going to cut against the grain instead of with the grain, and just give it some thin slices, and you get 1/4 pound of meat per salad. It's just beautiful. Look at that redness in the middle there. It's perfect. And that was just 3 minutes per side, y'all. That should be good for me. And I'm going to get me a plate, because y'all know I got to eat. Shoot, I'm not going to cook and just look at it. And this is how I like to plate mine up. Look at all those fresh veggies there. Get me a claw full, just like that. Beautiful. And then right alongside of that, I'm going to put my steak just all along the edge there. Isn't that beautiful? Came out perfect. Springtime, here we are. Let me give this a taste. I want a piece of steak and some of my salad. Let's come in here and get a tomato too. So simple, so easy, under 30 minutes, gluten-free, low sodium, the whole 9 yards. You're gonna love it. Thank y'all for coming to my kitchen. Thank y'all for coming to see me. I'm Rhonda Morrison, and y'all just keep on shaping up, Sugarland.